Thanks for tuning in to PR's Realm. Today I'm going to hit you with something very special. For all my wrestling fans, both young and old, you're going to love this video. So before I start, please hit that subscribe button, give it a like, and make sure when it's over, share this video, check out my other videos. Today's video, I'm going to show you some great wrestling collectibles, from cards to action figures to autographs. Originally, I was just going to do cards, but looking through my old stuff, I found lots of classic material. Right here, we got some children's books on wrestling. Here you see Hogan. You see Hogan at different eras. In this one, there goes Andre the Giant and the Iron Sheik. Now, at the time, some of you younger guys may be thinking, why is there an F? At that time, it was World Wrestling Federation. It wasn't until many years later that it became WWE. So, from here on, when you see WWF, that's WWE, because there's going to be quite a few wrestling organizations in this video. Now, right here I have a classic ring. If those of you that remember the old WWF, now WWE ring, it was all plastic. I'm knocking on this to show you that this is wood. This was very durable. It's about 30 or more years old. We'll start off with these characters. This is what they call thumb wrestlers. This is Hogan when he was in NWO. This is the WCW. These were little models. These were AWA, NWA, and WCW before they merged with WWE. And these are keychains. I got ones you might know like Sting. There's a few others, Lex Luger. And moving on, there were these wrestlers. These were, again, between AWA, NWA, and WCW. Going back to WWF/WWE, we got these wrestlers. These right here, from WWE, the time WWF, we got Hogan, Jimmy Snuka, and the Iron Sheik. And now these were actually erasers. I never used it for erasers because I like to collect. Just a little honorable quick mention, I'm not going to go through it. These were little mini imitation wrestlers. And on that note, I'm going to show you quickly in this bag. I have a ton of no-name brand, imitation, whatever you want to call it, wrestlers. But, like I said, we got so many surprises in store that I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Here, we got some classic VHS wrestling matches. For the younger people, again, this is something you might want to look into. Ask your parents about it. Now we're going over to the NWA. At the time, these wrestlers came out under the NWA Wrestling. One of my favorites were the Road Warriors. This is Hawk and his partner Animal. They were sort of a weird team because how normally you see the good and the bad guys, they were kind of neutral. They just went with whoever they felt was doing the right things. But as you know, wrestling is rehearsed. It is acting. So I'm sure these were great guys. Jumping a little bit back, and I may come back to these, I want to show you some of the first wrestlers that came out as toys. Now that was these rubber things. Here I got Snuka, similar to the miniature Snuka, if you see the resemblance. And I got a little story about this one. This is Big John Studd. Fortunately, he passed away along with Andre the Giant and several other wrestlers over the years. It's a little bit of a sad story. I'll make it quick. I went to a wrestling convention that my father took me and my sister to, and we had a lot of fun. There we met Sergeant Slaughter, we met this guy, Big John Studd, Missy Hyatt, who I also have a card of hers right here. And later in the video, I'll show you some of the autographs. Mainly, I believe, just Big John Studd, but I'll show you pictures. And finishing off the story, he was one of the nicest guys I ever met. About a month later, my father ran into him again. He was out at a lunch date with all his colleagues, and sitting behind him was Big John Studd. My father kindly asked him if he could get an autograph and mentioned me and my sister, and he did say he remembered us, so hopefully he did, but the point is, he was considered a bad guy and one of the nicest guys I ever met. It actually saddened me when I heard he passed away. Whereas Sergeant Slaughter, who was known as the good guy, was very rude. And it really changed my point of view of wrestling and wrestlers after that day. Now that we've seen the VHS, some of the books, various toys, quickly, if I didn't mention, the posters, let's go into the cards. In the WCW, there were 3 series. This was one of the first series, that's why I have the most of them. Then they came out with this series, and you could basically see how simple it is to separate them. Yellow, pink, and then a greenish color. And this was the last series. By then, I started to lose interest in wrestling, so that's why I have the least. I'll briefly show you a few of the cards. And if you guys like it, I get plenty of likes, more subscribers, plenty of views, I'll definitely make more. Here's Brutus Beefcake, George the Animal Steel, Jesse the Body Ventura, and here's his toy corresponding with it. Over here, these two are both Hogan. As you see, it's a little different than these cards. Then WWE/WWF stickers, and these were supposed to make a puzzle. Actually more than one, because there was more than one series of these cards. I don't have too many of them, but you can see. Quick glimpse, again, Jimmy Snuka. Then there was these series, Classic WWF. Hacksaw Jim Duggan was very popular back in my time. Then there was this series, as you see here, George the Animal Steel. And a story about him is he acted crazy in wrestling, although I heard he was very well educated. At one time, it was rumored that he was even a professor in college. This series was, I think, beautifully done, probably the best one, because these are like actual photographs. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, again, I have him back here. Brutus Beefcake, the figure, and Brutus Beefcake, the card. And of course, like Hogan, he was always one of the most popular. It's surprising how long he's been a part of wrestling, because he's quite old. Him and Ric Flair are probably 2 of the most popular, oldest wrestlers, but at one time they were in different wrestling organizations. See, this is Ric Flair. That's why this doll, or action figure, looks so much different than those action figures, because it was a different wrestling organization. Moving on, there was another series. See how they look very similar, although this has the WWF logo, whereas this one, you don't see any. That's how you separated them. Then there were these stickers. Mean Gene Okerlund with Ric Flair. One of his famous things he always used to say or do was, woo, woo. Every time he thought he was doing great, he would say, woo. These are some of the wrestlers. A little backstory, there was a big scandal when they found out a lot of the WWE wrestlers were taking steroids. And Vince McMahon almost went to jail over it because it was rumored that he was supplying the wrestlers. These are stickers. In addition to everything you've seen so far, we also got this poster. Now, this is the guy I was talking about, Sergeant Slaughter. As you see, he has the American flag. He coined himself as this super American. This person was not what he portrayed. And unfortunately, it was in reverse. I really liked him as a wrestler. I thought he was a great guy. Being a young kid, I was looking at the world as everything positive. And that day, like I said, it changed me. We also have this puzzle that now is a poster or a picture, and it has Paul Orndorff, it has Ricky Orton, it has Tito Santana, and the Junkyard Dog. And again, as I mentioned, back then it was WWF. In addition, I have these little books. What makes these little books special is it looks like a movie. Book 1, Book 2, or an actual live wrestling match. As you see, flipping through the pages fast, as best as I could with one hand, showing you, it looks like it's in motion. It was beautifully done. As promised, here are the autographs I was going to show you. And just so you know, I have other autographs. This is actually my autograph book. But we're going to stick with the wrestling autographs. This man right here, as I showed you the action figures, is Big John Studd. This was when he was writing the autograph for my sister and I when we were younger. This is one of the autographs. As I told you, my father ran into him at a restaurant. He wrote this one. This was another autograph he gave me when I was at the wrestling convention. And as you see right here, that's me as a little kid. And that's my sister as a little kid. My sister got mad at me that I cut off Big John Studd's head. But what you don't know and you can't see right here is we were standing on chairs, and they were pretty tall chairs. And even though we were little kids, usually a little kid standing on a chair is going to be about the same height. So he was a big guy. Over here, we didn't get a chance to get his autograph. The supposed good guy, like I said, was quite rude to the kids. Then over here were two women wrestlers. This is Misty Hyatt. I forgot her name, but she's another wrestler. And then a few more of Sergeant Slaughter, which, seeing his shirt, it reminds me he was also made into an action figure for G.I. Joe. Finally, to finish off the collection, I'm going to leave you with a few wrestling hats that I have in my collection. As you see, the oldest is the WWF, and the newest is a WrestleMania, and the middle is a Y2J. So, that's my collection. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching PR's Realm. Make sure you subscribe. Share my video on your pages. Tell everyone you know. Turn on the notifications. Give it a like. And let me know what you want to see in the future. Or leave your thoughts, ideas, anything you want. Lastly, if you want to be featured on my channel, send me your videos at prexecutive147@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching PR's Realm. www.youtube.com/PRsRealm.